Dr. Bhat, thanks for coming on the show. We're going to start with, can you share a bit about your background and area of expertise?
Well, thank you for inviting me. I was born and raised in Kashmir, where I did my medical schooling. I moved to Buffalo, New York in 1998. It's a long time, where I did my residency in medicine for 3 years. That was followed by another 3 years of fellowship in pulmonary and critical care medicine. It's a branch of medicine that deals mainly with lung diseases like COPD, emphysema, lung cancers. And after that, I completed another 1 year fellowship in sleep medicine. And I moved to Kansas City in 2006, and I have been here since then.
So in India, when you say sleep medicine, I'm guessing that's different than here, or is it similar?
It's very different. Sleep medicine is still a very new branch of medicine. It was not there 20, 25 years ago. There's so much research that has happened in the field of sleep medicine. It has literally exploded.
So what about something like, is it ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha, yeah. It's like one of those Ayurvedic medicine for sleep. The data is still very, there's some studies showing benefits. There's some benefit. There's some studies showing that it may not be beneficial. Like any other medication, it has some limitations. And to my knowledge, it's not FDA approved.
So what led you to pursue this specialty?
Well, right now, I am mainly doing sleep medicine. And during my training, one thing I noted was some patients would come with like cough, shortness of breath, but one thing common that I noted in most of my patients was fatigue, tiredness, not feeling rested. And the more I looked into this, the more interest I developed in this field. Like, what's happening? Why are people so tired and exhausted? What can be done to help improve their quality of life? And that just ignited my passion, my interest in the field of sleep medicine. And that's why I did another 1 full year of fellowship in sleep medicine, entirely dedicated to various sleep disorders. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, sleep, I think, is overlooked by the general population. There's this idea that you can just not sleep a lot and still be fine and go work out and drink a lot of caffeine, but it's going to catch up.
I agree with your first statement that it's overlooked. In fact, anyone listening to this podcast who wants to get into better shape or better health, they need to sleep. We always talk about good diet, exercise as a key to better health. But I must say, as a sleep doctor, based on the research, sleep is as important, or should I say more important than diet or exercise if you had to look for better health.
How many hours?
Well, it depends. It depends on your age. For example, if you have a newborn, like an infant, almost 15 to 16 hours. Yes. Well, when I give these lectures, I talk about infants. What they do is mainly they feed, they cry and they poop. Those are the things, and that's it. But as kids get older, like toddlers may need up to 14 hours of sleep. And then you go to school kids, they may need around 11 to 12 hours. Teenagers, they need up to 10 hours, which they hardly get. As adults, most of us need average 7 to 9 hours. So it's not a fixed rule that I need to get 8 hours. No. There's a range, 7 to 9 hours average in adults. I need 7.5 hours. I know if I sleep 7 hours, I feel tired the next day. But if I sleep beyond 7.5 hours, I still don't feel that good. So there is that sweet spot. You have to find out how many hours of sleep do you need.
The ironic part of today is I'm on 5.5. And I'm doing a podcast about sleep.
Well, you're not the only one. In fact, if you look at the data, almost 35 to 40% adults in this country are sleep deprived. What does it mean? The amount of sleep you need, you're not able to meet that for many reasons. And the results are there.
I usually get 7.
Okay.
I feel that 6.5, I feel great.
Okay.
7.5, push it. 8. I can't remember the last time I had 8 hours of sleep. I go to bed 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. I wake up at 5:30 on the clock, no matter what time I went to bed. So the first question is, are there people who can have a healthy life and still get 6.5?
Well, there is data showing that very limited amount of people, almost 1% of human population, I'm talking about the whole world, can sleep only 6 hours. There's a gene, basically mutation in the gene that allows them to sleep only 6 hours. But the key here is I see many people come to my office saying that I just need 6 hours or 6.5 hours. I don't need more than that. But then you notice that they have a cup of coffee with them, right? And they keep taking coffee or some caffeinated beverages all day. And then the weekend, they sleep till 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. That's not what I
see. Weekend, same. My schedule's the same.
So again, maybe you're one of those very fortunate,
I wish
1% people who just need 6 hours, and you need to be feeling like awake, alert. But if you're driving back home from work, you're drowsy, you're sleepy, that means you didn't get enough sleep. 6 hours is not enough for you.
So that's a sign.
These are some subtle signs that you're talking to someone, you're watching a movie in a movie theater, you doze off, you drift off. You're a passenger in the car, you doze off, right? You're driving back home, you have to put the windows down, you have to listen to audio on a high note. Those are some signs that your body is trying to drift off and you're trying to compensate by doing these things.
Probably because I'm living off of cortisol until about 3 p.m.
Well, cortisol is one of the best things that can happen to us. Cortisol is essential for our life, but there are conditions, there are times when it may not help us.
So you also do, you have a specialty in, I'm going to say this incorrectly, obesity?
Yes.
And sleep?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me about the dawn effect.
We'll talk about it, but the reason I got interested in obesity also is the more you read about the impact of sleep or insufficient sleep. Let's talk about the list of conditions that if a person doesn't sleep enough hours, the list goes on and on. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What if you don't sleep for 24 hours? For example, you're off for 24 hours. You feel tired, you feel irritable, cranky, foggy, right? You don't feel good, you're angry. But if you keep doing this, that you keep depriving yourself of sleep for a week, 2 weeks, months, and years, the impact is longer lasting. Like, for example, we know from data, people who don't sleep enough have a high risk of gaining weight.
Insulin resistance?
Absolutely, insulin resistance. So as we sleep enough hours, our leptin, that's one of the most potent hormones in the body, is more reactive. It helps you lose weight. If you don't sleep enough, your hormone called ghrelin, G for grow, you gain weight. So when you sleep a limited hour of times, then you tend to eat food. You go middle of the night, you have a snack or some junk food. So limited sleep has been linked with weight gain.
What are the functions of those two hormones?
Again, they have multiple functions. To make it simple, leptin helps a person maintain good weight. It helps you to lose weight. L means lower your weight. Ghrelin means grow. That means makes you gain weight. And for example, if you say there's a condition in sleep disorder, one of the sleep disorders is sleep apnea, where a person has leptin but that's not responding to its action. It means the tissue doesn't respond to it. It's what we call leptin resistance. All of us know what insulin resistance is, but there's something called leptin resistance that it's there, but the tissues are not responding to it, indirectly helping you or making you gain weight. Let's go to cardiovascular implications. High blood pressure, heart disease, heart failure, stroke, diabetes, same thing, insulin resistance, as you mentioned, people who don't sleep well. The point is also the quantity and quality. It's not how many hours of sleep you get good quality sleep, right? Lack of sleep. Let's talk about memory. So if you don't sleep well, you tend to be forgetful. Your cognition, your concentration, your focus is impacted. We'll talk about lack of sleep ultimately leading to increased risk of Alzheimer's, dementia. There's a close connection between not getting enough sleep and you being at risk for Alzheimer's or any form of memory loss. In one night, if you don't sleep enough hours, your levels of beta amyloid, it's one of those chemicals in the body that are found to be in people with Alzheimer's, the level goes up. So what does it tell us? Good quality sleep helps you to refresh yourself. It helps to cleanse your body. It's one of the best cleansers I know of. And indirectly, it helps you a little longer.
So there's deep, REM,
yes,
and core. Am I missing any?
Well, to make it simple, I call sleep as a building, like a structure. Like you have a basement, you have a first floor, second floor, attic, and roof. You can't have a building if you are missing in one of these things. Same thing when you go to sleep. You get into more what's called non-REM sleep. Let me make it simple, right?
Yeah.
So there are two types of sleep to make it simple, non-REM and REM. So non-REM is what happens mostly in the first half of the night. Here comes the role of importance of non-REM sleep in children. We grow as we fall asleep. So children, especially in high school, if they delay their bedtime, the growth hormone levels are lower because growth hormone is secreted in the first half of the night. If they don't sleep till 1 or 2, the growth is blunted, right? And then after non-REM, it comes in cycles. Then comes REM. REM stands for rapid eye movement, or many times we call it dream sleep, or we dream most of the times. The whole structure needs to be maintained. It's like a full form of cycle, non-REM sleep, REM sleep. And as we get into nighttime, the duration of REM sleep gets longer and longer. Now, let's say if you get up earlier than expected, you're not getting enough REM sleep. So REM sleep is very for memory consolidation and so many other things like, your body metabolism, your heart rate. So you need full amount of sleep to get the benefit.
Are these Apple Watches accurate?
I'm afraid to say not yet. There's a condition called orthosomnia. Orthosomnia is a condition which I see so often where a person comes to me, gosh, I can't sleep well. I'm not sleeping well. Why? Because my watch tells me that you're not getting enough deep sleep. You're not getting enough REM sleep.
Yes.
Guess what it leads to? That anxiety about not getting good sleep. So it backfires. Now you get real into trouble where you can't sleep. So it's a fine balance here. Yes, you can have a smartwatch, but when you get up in the morning, you feel better. Trust yourself when the watch tells you something else.
That's all that matters?
Yes.
How you feel.
Yes,
when
how
you
you
wake
feel.
up.
You feel rested. You feel awake. If the watch tells you something different, you're right.
What about measuring just total time of sleep?
Based on the smartwatch?
Yeah.
It's still not that accurate. Interestingly, the most accurate way of finding how much sleep do you get per night is based on the data or based on the studies that have been there for almost 100 years. Where we put in the leads in like facilities.
Yeah, like a sleep study.
Exactly, like sleep studies where you put those electrodes on the brain and it can exactly tell me how much deep sleep, light sleep, REM sleep did you get last night? How many times did your brain wake up? Why? Was it because you stopped breathing, you dropped your oxygen, or you had a bad dream? We can connect it.
So you're going back to what you said earlier with growth, the growth hormone. Will release at a certain time of night?
First half of the night.
Is this based on a circadian rhythm of the sun?
Circadian rhythm. So there's a biological clock or the internal clock that should align with the outside clock.
Oh my goodness.
What happens if you're misaligned or malaligned? Your hormones, like let's look at cortisol, thyroid hormone, prolactin, melatonin, they come in at a particular level, particular time. And if there's a misalignment, you're in trouble. For example, people who work nights or days.
Yes.
That's when the matching is not there. Then people who work nights, many of them feel tired all the time, feel exhausted. They want to sleep during the daytime. When they come back from work, they can't. But they can go back to work. They feel sleepy because your clock is not aligning with the outside world.
So what's the best time, ideal time to go to sleep?
It depends. Again, the important thing is consistency. Like if you go to bed, go at a regular time. See what happens? I see people going to bed at 8 p.m. Then the next night, they go to bed at 12. The brain doesn't remember the time to go to sleep. So consistency, go at a regular time and wake up at a regular time. That's the window that you give to the brain. You train the brain. This is your time to go to sleep, as if you're training a child, right? This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. That's why I tell people to have that consistency in sleep time that helps to train your brain. It's time for me to go to bed, or it's time for me to wake up.
So based on circadian rhythm, is there a window about what time?
As we have advanced in the last 100 years, you have noticed that the duration of sleep has shrunken.
Yeah.
The more the lights, there's going to be delay in your sleep, right? As the sun sets, that's the time for us to get ready for sleep.
Oh, wow.
As the dark. So we are depriving ourselves of darkness. And darkness is very crucial for sleep.
So are you a fan of daylight savings time?
Not really. Not
I think
really.
it's stupid.
Not really. So this
Screws everybody up.
So we sleep medicine has an organization called American Academy of Sleep Medicine, and we have been asking for to taking it out, like make it consistent, because that itself can put you at risk for a number of things.
I mean, I'm guessing it increases the cost of healthcare for all Americans and on the government.
Yes.
Just because of that 1 hour, because it throws everybody off.
Same thing, circadian rhythm. So one day you're waking up. So we all think of a 1 hour, but that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think Arizona is the only place that doesn't have it. I need to live there. So what exactly happens in the non-REM? Is that more like physical rebuilding, like you said, the growth?
Yep. So basically, many of us feel that sleep is something where you just shut off. No. During this time, your body is trying to recover. Your muscles are trying to heal, like your students here at KOMA. They do all those activities. They go to sleep. Their muscle is regenerating, right? The toxins are being eliminated. You tend to grow. Sleep is a form of meditation, right? In non-REM sleep, your heart rate, your breathing, your brain activity slows down. You go into a form of meditation. That's the body metabolism. You tend to hibernate. That's when your parasympathetic system, the system of that helps you to calm down, is dominant, which is exactly the opposite in REM sleep, where your heart rate and your blood pressure may be higher than when you're awake. So they have a reason to be there.
And then REM is for the mind.
Lots of things, memory consolidation. So if you're going for exams the next day, it's good to sleep, because what you have read about your exams during the daytime is going to be consolidated during that time.
What about heart rate? So mine tends, according to my watch, will drop under 40 beats per minute.
So normally we call, when the heart rate drops too low, we call it bradycardia. It means your heart rate is slow. Bradycardia, by definition, is your heart rate is below 40 in sleep. So if there's something that, low heart rate could be a sign of good health, like athletes have lower heart rate. But if it's below 40, then it's something that I would look into. It should not be that low.
My mom has it and my brother has it too. They both get that too.
At nighttime?
Sleeping.
Okay. Yeah. So I would suggest also there's a better devices, a device called Holter that can monitor your heart rate. That's more reliable if it's something like that. There are many reasons for that. But something I will be a little bit nervous about having a heart rate below 40, because it could be because of a number of health conditions.
Really? I need to get that checked out. So children, like elementary age, I'd say between the ages of 6 and 9 or 10. You said about what, 10 hours of sleep?
More than that.
More than 11, 10 to 12.
It's a range. It's a range, yes.
And then adults should be
7 to 9 is the average, but as you mentioned, less than 6 hours is something less than 1%. But there is a certain section of people who may need 9 to 10 hours, what we call long sleepers, as opposite to short sleepers.
I read it could, if you sleep too much, that could also be a detriment.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're sleeping too much, because it could be a sign of a sleep disorder that itself can impact your health.
So I heard that President Trump only needs 4 hours of sleep. What do you think about that? Do you believe that?
See, as I said before, there's a condition called short sleepers. Is he a short sleeper? I don't know, but it all depends on how do you do during the daytime. Are you with a cup of soda or coffee all day? Are you doing things like, well, I'm talking about anyone who says he or she needs only 6 hours of sleep. What are the things that are happening during the daytime, or how much sleep are they getting on weekend? Are they trying to catch up that debt on a weekend, and they feel that they just need 6 hours of sleep? As long as a person is awake, alert, he's able to do his job during the daytime, not falling asleep in the afternoon while listening to a lecture or in the meetings or driving back home. That's what a short sleeper is. You should not compromise your daily function.
Yeah. What about, would you ever check fasting insulin to see if they're getting enough sleep or not?
These are some tests that we typically don't do in clinical practice. in experimental studies, we do look at these things, yes.
Because then that would mean insulin resistance.
It can, yes.
And then you can remedy that with better sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I have caffeine until I have 200 milligrams at the most, and I'm usually done by 9:30 a.m. And I don't drink it, because if I drink after that, especially if I drink after 12 o'clock, then it messes my falling asleep.
It can. Yeah.
So would you say that is me trying to get away with 6.5 hours of sleep by drinking caffeine?
Taking coffee or caffeine is okay. I'm not against it. I do take coffee every day in the morning, but it's the amount and the time you take it.
Yeah.
And it also depends upon the person. For example, how fast is caffeine metabolized in you may be different from what it happens to with your spouse or with your family members.
My wife can drink it before supposedly she says she can drink it before she goes to bed.
There you go.
It doesn't.
So maybe her metabolism is fast enough that it breaks down that caffeine.
Not me though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the signs a person isn't getting enough quality sleep? So falling asleep, but like what time? Like if I'm going to bed at 10,
yes,
what time would I be falling asleep? Would you say, all right, you're not getting enough sleep?
You may still, like anyone who has an alarm to go, like wake up in the morning, maybe that's a sign that you're not getting enough sleep. You should wake up by yourself. Uh-huh. When the alarm goes off, there's a sign that wake up even though you're still asleep.
What if I went to bed at 10 and I woke up at 4? That happens all the time. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm like, am I supposed to wake up now?
It's a very common condition I see in my clinical practice that people wake up around 3 in the morning and they can't go back to sleep,
yes.
Right? There are a number of reasons for that. One interesting article that I read was last year, that let's go back to 14th or 15th century. People used to sleep in 2 different shifts. It's dark outside, there are no lights, you go to sleep.
Einstein, I think, did this. Yeah.
They would wake up around 1 in the morning. It was like a tradition. Everybody would do it. They'd look at the cattle, everybody's safe. It was all agricultural society, right? It was all agriculture. And they would have some intimate moments, and then they would go back to sleep. Would this waking up around 3 in the morning be a remnant of what our forefathers used to do? Possible. But when the Industrial Revolution came in England in 16th century, they made these people work for 15 hours at a stretch. They were not allowed to take a nap either. So they had to get that sleep combined in one period.
So they would wake up at 1 and go back to sleep at 3?
Yes. Yeah.
So they'd wake up for 2 hours and go back to, oh my goodness.
Do regular things, yeah.
Wow. So then if I'm waking up at 4, I should go back to sleep, right?
Well, if you can go back to sleep right away, yes, you should. But then many times you struggle. A person can't go back to sleep because now his brain is all wired up and he has 10 different things in his mind or her mind. What do? That's a different chapter. So what we talk about, sleep maintenance insomnia, that you have difficulty staying asleep. You need to look at why is this happening? Is this a pattern? If this happens once in 6 months, I wouldn't worry about it. Mm-hmm. But if this happens most of the nights, then we need to talk about it.
What are the common conditions usually for that?
Well, many reasons are, number one, as you wake up around 3 or 4 in the morning, you can't go back to sleep. What do we tend to do? We open up our phones, they're next to our bed, or you open a laptop or iPad and start looking at the emails and other things. If you keep doing it, it becomes a norm. Your brain thinks that this is what I'm supposed to do at 3 in the morning. So it's nothing wrong with the brain. That's what you're training your brain. You have a phone there, right? Mm-hmm. So it becomes a pattern. It becomes a norm. That's what exactly we should not do, because as the light shines on your face, guess what the brain thinks? It's morning time. Yeah. It's wake-up time.
Yeah.
But there are many medical conditions that can lead to awakenings around that time, like obstructive sleep apnea. It's one of the most common sleep disorders. And it happens mostly in the second half of the night. And the reason is, as you're getting more and more REM sleep or dream sleep, the muscles become more lax and you're more at risk of collapsing your breathing tube. Yeah. And then the brain goes, you can't stay asleep. You have to wake up. You have to breathe.
So the sleep apnea is when you're not getting enough oxygen.
Yeah, it's a very common, but unfortunately very underdiagnosed condition. Around 25 million adults in this country have sleep apnea, but less than 20% are diagnosed. And it's something that can lead to waking up middle of the night, can't go back to sleep. A lot of other symptoms.
So can parents fix this with orthodontics for their kids?
It depends.
It's a jaw thing, right?
Not always, but it can. Yeah. The anatomy is that your jaw is pushed back, what we call hypernatia. All right. So the jaw is pushed back, and in some conditions, you can have a dental device that can pull the jaw forward and create more space in the back. But sometimes it's not that helpful. There are other treatment options too, but you have to find out first what sort of condition this is.
So, what are your thoughts on melatonin?
Melatonin is a hormone. It's a part of our body. This is something that we all have and helps us to sleep. But if we stop the melatonin from rising, because what happens to melatonin during the daytime? It's down. Because light doesn't allow melatonin to go up. So again, it's a circadian rhythm. It's lowest at 8 in the morning, and it starts building up as the darkness comes in. So it's time for the brain to say that it's bedtime. But if you shine the light on the brain for so many reasons, you're watching TV, you're on an iPhone, the melatonin level starts dropping down. And the brain goes, okay, it's not time for me to go to sleep yet.
So then, do you recommend supplementation?
Well, if we respect our sleep time, we don't, right? There's a reason why it's happening. The best form of melatonin we can get from anywhere is your own melatonin. It's pure, it's clean. And remember, like the studies recently published where they looked at the melatonin products. There's a lot of disturbing news where the concentration of melatonin was not correct. For example, if it said 1 milligram, it turned out it was not 1 milligram, it was 5 milligrams. And there were many children admitted to the hospital ER because of melatonin toxicity.
We have to give it to our son because of autism.
Again, under supervised setting, it's safe. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be careful at how much, is it a reliable company? Are there any contaminants? Is it really a because it's not FDA approved, if I'm not wrong. It's not under FDA control.
I didn't know that. Wow. Have you heard of microdosing?
Yes. It's all these are ways to help a person. It's all about perception, right? Sleep is a lot about perception. I'm talking about insomnia, where a person has difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. There's something called anticipatory anxiety. It's a condition where a person is so nervous about getting sleep that he or she thinks about not getting sleep at 8 in the morning. You still have 12 hours or 13 hours, right? But the mind is preoccupied, or you already planned it's going to be another terrible night. You can also say it's going to be a better night. But there's a lot about perception in insomnia we talk about.
Training the mind.
Training, or should we call retraining?
Right. It sounds like the prescribed medicine is not the only option. And you probably do you prescribe that a lot?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
In fact, there's no medicine that has been found to be helpful on long-term basis.
What's the main one then?
Interestingly, one of the common medication that is prescribed for insomnia is trazodone.
What's the
Although it's not a sleeping medication.
Is that the marketing name?
No, it's a medication mainly for depression.
Oh.
And sleepiness is a side effect.
Yeah.
So healthcare providers feel that it's a safe medication, but it's not entirely. And studies show that it's not as effective as it is at the start. After 3-4 weeks, it loses its effectiveness. So as a sleep doctor, it's not a sleeping medication. Unless you have coexisting depression, then it may help with your depression and your sleep also.
Any other supplements such as magnesium glycinate, L-theanine?
Yeah, there's studies showing that magnesium can help in sleep, but going back to the triad of good diet, exercise, and sleep, if you get good diet, I think you have enough magnesium in good diet. It's all in there.
What would be some good sources?
So I'm not sure about the foods. To my knowledge, if I'm not wrong, I think bananas have a good source of magnesium, but I would let the audience check on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar too with banana. All right. So then what about the perfect routine? What do you recommend? I lay in bed and I read the Bible on my phone, right? That makes me get tired. And I put on the no blue light setting on my iPhone. I don't know if that even matters or not. And then that makes me nod off, and then I put it away and go to sleep. Is that good?
So as a sleep doctor, we always tell people bedroom is only for two things: sleep and the other is nothing else.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why, right? So many times what we see people coming in saying that, it's odd and strange that when I'm sleeping on a couch, I can sleep in there. But the moment I walk towards the bedroom, I can't. The sleep is gone. It's called conditioned insomnia. It means the brain no longer connects the bedroom as a place where you sleep. Mm-hmm. You can do anything in the bed except sleep. And that's where the retraining comes into play. When you go to the bedroom, your intention should be to go to sleep. And in order to get better sleep, we need to look at what did we do during the daytime. Did we have like tons of caffeine, or did we do something that is going to contradict or that's going to impact our sleep? There should always be a gray zone of at least 1 hour before going to bed. Do something that helps you to calm down. Do things that you enjoy doing. Do things that help, again, reading a Bible, right? Reading a religious book, or listening to some music that is calming and soothing before getting into bed.
But not the phone.
So that is something that can delay your sleep onset, right? Like when you go into the bedroom now, what does the brain think? It's time for me to be on the phone. So there are studies showing that a person loses around 45 minutes of sleep when they take their cell phones into the bedroom. Because you tend to look at the cell phone, right? You start searching, and then that creates that vicious cycle of, let's do this, keep going, and we'll lose that sleep. And now if you don't do tonight, your brain will ask for that. Where is that thing?
I've tried. I'm addicted.
So again, that it takes time. It takes time to unlearn and relearn things.
But that's the way. No phones in the room. I got to start that. Yeah, I've heard about people putting it in the kitchen or bathroom and leave it into there. And I even wear my watch because I try to track my sleep now. I don't believe it. But also that's my alarm, which I usually don't need. I have my last resort alarm.
Yeah.
I usually don't need it.
So many times, sorry to interrupt you, many times I see people when they tell me that they wake up at 3 o'clock, they look at the alarm clock and then it's only 3. We tell people not to look at the alarm because the more you look at it, the more anxious you get. The harder it for you to go to sleep. So flip it. Don't look at the clock. Trick your brain.
So then if I wake up at 4, this happens a lot, you're saying don't look at the time?
Yeah, don't look at the time.
What should I do?
Well, that's one thing you don't. Because what you're doing is when you look at the clock, you already say it's 4 o'clock. Gosh, I had to be up at 5. I can't go to sleep. You get more anxious. It's harder for you to go to sleep. It's one of the ways to trick your brain that you don't know what time it is. It's one of the many behavioral techniques we employ.
So then how would I know when to wake up if I go back to sleep? Just wait for the alarm?
Or naturally, when you wake up, like for example, I go to bed around 10:30, so I wake up around 6 o'clock. So that consistency, remember, I'm going to use this word quite often, consistency, even on weekends. Sometimes people, what they do is they sleep till 10 or 11 a.m. on weekends, and then they do struggle to go to bed the following night, right? Because you're losing that consistency. Now, is there any one night that you're going to cheat? It's okay. Once a month, that's fine.
So you want your 7.5 hours?
7.5, yes.
That's your ideal?
Yes.
Huh. How does food, exercise, and we already talked about bed routines, but let's talk about maybe exercise. Yeah. How does that play into good sleep?
It's very important. I think they're all linked together. Like exercise makes your hormones go in the right direction. There's one thing I remember you had asked me about how did KOMA help my kids, right?
Yeah.
They come in here, they are growing, they're and here you make them go through this intense exercise, they go home, they're tired, they go to bed, they're out, they're asleep, right? So having good amount of exercise is very crucial at helping you get to good sleep. Even going for a walk, in people with insomnia, what we tell them is that if you struggle to go to sleep, go outside, spend some time in natural light. Even simple walk, you don't have to go to the gym, connect with the nature. That's going to help you sleep. That happens mostly in winter months. When it's cold outside, the risk of insomnia goes up because you're confined to your house. It's dark. It goes dark. It's like 8 in the morning and 4:30 it's already dark. Mm-hmm. So you're more prone to getting insomnia-like symptoms in winter months.
I like to sleep in very cold.
That's what it should be. Yeah.
Is there an ideal temperature?
If I remember correctly, around below 60, 65 degrees should be the goal. Yes, around 65.
Wow, think of how much money you're going to spend in the summertime.
Well, it's even more important in females, like when they get into menopause, with the hot flashes and all that. So that's one of the things that we talk about. Be in a bed or bedroom with colder temperature, it helps them to get
So you drop your house down to 65?
69.
69?
Yeah.
So 69 is it?
Yeah.
I thought you said 65.
65 is the cutoff level, but whatever you feel comfortable.
Oh, we do 68.
That should be fine.
I would be in 60 but my wife would kill me.
It depends. Again, that's one thing that,
I like to make it super cold, and then I have a kind of a bed warmer. So I go from cold to hot, and all of a sudden that makes me go to sleep. But that's worked for me. So speaking of KOMA, what made you decide to enroll your kids at KOMA? It's been a while too.
It has been, right? And looking at it from that angle from now onwards, I think it was the right choice. As I said before, coming to KOMA gave them consistency. Again, I love this word. Like they come in, do their training, they do their homework here, they go back home, they get their dinner, they go to sleep. Leadership, I think, was very helpful. I'm glad to say, and I'm very proud of my son, who is going to start medical school this July.
It's amazing.
And my daughter is going to be a junior, or rather sophomore in college. They're both leaders, and I'm very, very proud of that. Working with the team, like I think that they're very good at work, and that's very important for both of them. If they get into medical field, working as a team is crucial. That's the team learning how to work, and at that age, it's hard, right? They're like in teens, it's hard for them to listen to someone. So leadership, consistency, like team building was very helpful when I see it from now onwards, going back to that time.
So looking back, because it's been 6 years.
Yes.
How old is Rayon?
Ryan is 22 now.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And he was here for how many years?
Almost 10 years.
Oh, he was here for 10 years?
Yeah, long time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So he started when he was,
I think middle school, if I'm not wrong.
Wow. And then Sadia was a little younger.
Almost 8 years. She did 8 years, I think so.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then now he's going to med school. What kind of doctor does he want to be?
He wants to be an orthopod.
Orthopedic? Mm-hmm. Wow, good for him. And then Sadia is a sophomore?
She's going to be a sophomore this August, and she has not decided yet. She wants to be a dentist, most likely, but she's not 100% sure about it.
Yeah, and your wife is a physician as well.
She's a physician too.
She teaching physician?
Everything. She's a master. She's the guru of our family.
So she practices and teaches
everything.
Wow. Yeah, she's a
born leader.
Yes, she is. Yes, and she did class 2. She got her black belt here.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
yes, she did.
Wow, I can't believe it's been 6 years. So the leadership, you would say, that stands out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because they were teaching here too.
Yes, there were teachers here, teaching assistants, and that really helped them. That Ryan, during his high school, was in the band, and he was very much involved as a leader. And he gets comments from his juniors. Every coming to is helping him. So yeah, that's a strong thing that I feel from this standpoint, that leadership was something that they acquired from this place.
What would you say to somebody who has the age of children that you had when they started and they're thinking about starting? What would you say to them?
Starting here or somewhere else?
Starting here at KOMA.
I think it's helpful. That's our feeling, both me and my spouse, that having our kids in KOMA was very helpful. Go for it.
Getting back to sleep, specifically obesity now.
Yeah.
How is sleep connected to metabolic health and weight management?
There's a strong connection. That's why I did additional degree last year, where I passed my obesity certification boards. As I said before, lack of sleep leads to weight gain. Weight gain leads to sleep disorders. Sleep disorders leads to weight gain. So it's a full loop. Let's take example of sleep apnea, where people struggle to breathe at nighttime. Their oxygen levels drop. They don't sleep well. They feel fatigued and tired. Leads to weight gain. Weight gain leads to worsening sleep apnea.
How does it specifically lead to weight gain? Is it the insulin resistance?
Leptin resistance.
Leptin resistance.
And ghrelin. Again, those hormones, they're magic hormones. That's what many of these new treatment options exploit. They look at the leptin, they look at the ghrelin.
So ghrelin, does that tell you when it's time to stop eating?
No, it's hunger. It promotes hunger.
Oh.
That's how I remember it. G means grow. I need more food. People who don't sleep enough, their ghrelin is telling them all the time that I need more food. Lack of sleep or insufficient sleep leads to increased levels of ghrelin, Whereas lack of sleep leads to leptin resistance. It's there, but it's not working.
Does leptin say it's time to stop eating?
Yes, leptin is the most potent hormone that helps the person to say stop. And we have it in your body. We all have it. But this is deranged when we have different sleep disorders like sleep apnea.
So it starts with the poor sleep, and then it leads into weight gain.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to worse sleep.
Yeah. This is my thing that I've noticed, that 30% adults in this country have sleep issues, right? And 30 to 40% adults in this country are overweight. So there must be some connection.
I heard 90% are insulin or are metabolically unhealthy.
Yes.
Which means their insulin is resistant.
Yes.
They're resistant to insulin.
Yes.
Right? I just learned that insulin is needed to store fat.
Oh, it's a very intricate mechanism. Yes, you're right.
So if the insulin's high, that's when your cells are going to be loaded with fat.
Yeah, it's not only the levels, it's also the tissues responding to this, right? What happens in diabetes is that your insulin is there, but the tissues don't react to it.
Right.
It's there, but the tissues say, we don't know what it is. What is it supposed to do?
Yeah, type 1 diabetics.
That's different.
They can eat. They have no insulin.
You're right.
They can eat 10,000 calories. They don't gain any weight.
So that's when the insulin levels are all negligible. That's why they need lifelong insulin. But in type 2 diabetes, the insulin is there, but the tissues aren't responding to it.
Because of resistance. So many years of too high of insulin?
Yeah, it can try to catch up because the tissue is not responding. The body thinks, oh, I need more insulin, but that's not what you need.
Is that where GLP-1s come in, or Ozempic?
Right. So all these medications use all these hormones, all these agonists, what we call, they act on these receptors to help promote weight loss. Going back to this, most people, we talk about weight loss, three things we tell them before these medications: good diet, exercise, and good sleep. They're crucial. We jump to these medications, and don't get me wrong, this is one of the best discoveries in the field of medicine in the last 100 years, I should say. Yes, very helpful. But again, there's no absolute medication for weight loss or any other medical condition. Go to the basics. Go to where our forefathers used to do. Good amount of sleep, exercise, and good diet. As natural foods as you can. That is going to help you a lot.
What about sugar? What does that have to do with good sleep or not?
You said sugar?
Yeah, sugar.
Yeah, it all depends. For example, let's say, let me pick up a condition, sleep apnea, okay? What happens in sleep apnea? You strangulate yourself. You choke yourself. You stop breathing. That's what it is. Your fight or flight response comes into play. Your cortisol goes up. Cortisol leads to high blood sugar. It leads to high blood pressure. And it leads to weight gain.
Because cortisol is the fight or flight.
Yes.
That makes you wake up.
Yes. Cortisol means there's something wrong happening. It's a very important. You cannot live without cortisol.
Do you ever get those cortisol levels checked with your patients?
Again, it's on an experimental basis, but in reality, we don't do this because we know this is happening. Some of the experimental tests we can do, yes. But in clinical practice, we usually don't, unless we think about some cortisol-related disorder, like Cushing's disorder or Addison's disease. They're more related to cortisol levels.
Same with thyroid, getting that checked.
Thyroid is if your thyroid is underactive, guess what it leads to? Slower metabolism and weight gain.
Which then is poor sleep.
Yes, right. Poor sleep. Fatigue and tiredness is another symptom of low thyroid, what we call hypothyroidism. Very common in females like Hashimoto's, you may have heard about. It's an autoimmune condition.
What's the one thing you wish every person understood about sleep?
Don't ignore sleep. Respect sleep. This is one of the best friends. It's a gateway to happiness. It's a gateway to better health.
So just first having a mindset, or at least making it a priority.
Yes, absolutely. We should, like how many of us go to bed without eating food? Some people do intentionally fast, right? There's a reason, but think it as your essential needs of the body. It's one of the basic needs. We all need to sleep.
Is there a cutoff, though, on dinner? How many hours before sleep?
Again, you can individualize it. You don't need to have heavy food close to the bedtime because you can have what's called reflux, right? The heartburn. That can impact your sleep for sure, yes. Don't eat heavy meals close to the bedtime.
So is there a window, though, of what we
Usually
say?
it takes 3 hours for the food to go beyond your stomach. That's the average time. It should be 3 hours or longer that you want to be.
So 3 hours. So if we go to bed at 10,
minimum 3 hours.
then
yes.
don't eat after 7.
Minimum 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yes.
because then you're still digesting.
Yes.
And then you can get the heartburn,
Yes.
which then...
Especially if you are eating heavy fatty food, that takes longer time to digest.
Yeah, I've heard that it's better to eat carbs before you go to bed. Have you heard of that?
I believe in moderation.
Yeah.
I'm not against eating carbs, fats, or proteins. It's all about the proportion and the amount and the quantity.
But fats take a long time.
The longer time to digest, yes.
That's good to know. What are some common myths or misconceptions about sleep?
The one we already talked about, I don't need enough sleep. Like most people we see who say or claim that they need only 6 hours. In reality, they need more than that, number one. Number two is, my perception is that most people, when we talk about sleep, they think sleep is only sleep apnea. No, sleep apnea is in fact not the most common condition or most common sleep disorder. Same thing with sleep apnea. Most people think that if you have sleep apnea, and most people don't want to talk about it because they think that CPAP or a mask is the only treatment. Not true. There are other treatment options too.
What's the other treatments? Because I always thought it was just mask.
No, you mentioned about it in children, even in adults, you can have the different treatments. In fact, one of the weight loss medications has been approved for sleep apnea now.
Really?
Yes.
How does that work?
Many reasons. You lose weight. That's one thing. Obesity is a risk factor, but it's not absolute. 1 in 3 people who have sleep apnea are not obese or overweight.
So 33% of them are not obese.
Okay. Yeah, that's a high percentage. So, but people who are obese can benefit from taking one of those weight loss medications that can help improve their sleep apnea. Then there are more advanced treatment options too, like an implant they can do to address your sleep apnea. So the options are different. There are multiple options, not CPAP. But I'll tell you one thing: CPAP, if it works, many people who are on CPAP who love it. They cannot sleep without it.
How does the implant work?
It's a little bit complicated in the sense it stimulates your nerve to the tongue. It basically opens up your tongue. It asks your tongue to open up.
So the tongue would maybe drop down, so then you would...
That's what happens when you go to sleep, especially on your back. That's when many times a person may not want to sleep on a back because the tongue is falling back and because of gravity. It doesn't allow it. It allows a frog to, like a frog tongue, it asks the tongue to protrude forward.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. It seems like in this area we live in, academics, I mean, we're both Asian. There's like a hyper focus on the academics, which then results in these high school kids, maybe even middle schoolers, going to bed at 1 a.m., waking up at 5, and repeating that over and over again. I actually have students here who's tried to argue with me, but that's just how they have to operate right now in order to get that grade that their parents are really obsessed with. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad you're talking about sleep in high school students. It's something that is very touchy and very, very strong for me because as you know that Ryan used to be in high school and I would see him doing band till like 8, 9 p.m. coming home and starting working on their homework. And then 7 in the morning, they're back in school. As a sleep doctor, I don't think that's compatible with their good health. There's a condition there are 2 things. Number one is physiological or something that happens naturally in some of the high school students. It's called delayed sleep phase syndrome. Delayed sleep phase syndrome means there's a tendency for this high schooler to not be sleepy until 1 in the morning. His body is not ready to sleep till 1 in the morning. Can't sleep. Even if he forces himself to go to sleep, even if he wants to go to sleep, it's a circadian alignment. It's called, the circadian rhythm is delayed. But now he doesn't want to be up at 7 in the morning because that is 3 in the morning for him, correct?
Yeah.
But you're being asked to get up at 7 in the morning to go to school. They're sleep deprived. They fall asleep in school. And guess what? Weekend, they love because now they can sleep till 10 or 11. That's their natural wake-up time. And they feel good on a weekend. But on weekdays, they're struggling. Their grades can be impacted. They pick up fights. They're irritable. So all those things come into play. But most high school students don't get enough sleep because of all those expectations, school assignments, sports, and all that. It has created a significant impact on their health. So young kids, many of them are labeled with ADHD, which may not be there. It could be lack of sleep. Because in kids, lack of sleep can lead to hyperactivity. They're more irritable. They're always on the run, as opposite to adults where they feel tired and exhausted. Kids, they can be jittery and irritable and anxious.
So you said with the kids who have that syndrome, what caused that?
Again, it's genetic. It's in the genes.
It's an actual genetic thing.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. I thought they were just being,
some of them,
teenagers.
Not all of them. So it's not like every teenager, as long as he or she doesn't have a phone or has an assignment, there's a reason you're delaying your bedtime. But a section of these high schoolers have this, and we see it many times in our clinic, that they're trying their best to go to sleep, can't. And then, again, parents want them to go to bed earlier because they want to have enough sleep, but they can't. Again, there's a big struggle.
And then I think that probably has something to do with the metabolic health of even our younger people that's declining, not just from the added sugar, but probably also from the lack of sleep.
Big time. Sleep, metabolism, weight gain, depression, anxiety, irritability, lack of focus, lack of concentration, falling asleep while driving. There's a condition called microsleep. People who don't sleep enough hours, they tend to fall asleep talking to someone else. Right? You imagine I'm talking to you, but I'm asleep for 3-4 seconds. Microsleep. And imagine you doing it on a thruway. You're driving on I-35, right? And you fall asleep for 3 or 4 hours. That's a long time on a thruway. So there are lots of deaths happening from lack of sleep.
Yeah. What would you tell parents in our community that are not making this a priority for their kids?
Again, we have to talk as a family. What are our priorities, right? Maybe we are trying to educate. I get called at different places to talk about the importance of sleep. And that's why I try to project it. Sleep is crucial for all of us. It's not that someone in the audience has diabetes or high blood pressure. All of us need sleep. All of us have some sleep issues at times. How do we approach it? How do we deal with it? It's a lifelong process. Many times a person who has had struggles with sleep for years wants that thing to be fixed in one night. Can't happen. It's a process. We need to, again, we use the word unlearn and relearn the process. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, again, for me, it's just the falling asleep. So I need to unlearn and relearn how to fall asleep naturally.
So one thing that has helped when I talk to people is that when you go to bed, everything comes to your mind. All those things that come, like I need to do this. What we suggest is pick up a time during the daytime, like 4 or 5 p.m. It's just stress time. Face anything that bothers you. Tackle it. Handle it. Even if you get nervous, anxious, it's daytime, and do it outside the bedroom. So you're picking up that stress-inducing factor from the bedroom, and you're putting it inside the living room, away from the bedroom, right? Again, you're breaking that connection between bed and stress. You're not avoiding the things that bother you, but you're addressing them at a different time outside the bedroom.
Because I'll lay in bed, and sometimes I get in this routine of, when am I going to fall asleep? Am I going to fall asleep now? Am I going to fall asleep now? And then you get anxiety because you haven't fallen asleep yet.
That builds up that anxiety. Now I can't sleep. I have to get up. I have these assignments in the morning. Yeah. So that makes it even harder for you to go to sleep. Yeah. So sleep should come to you. You should not go to sleep.
How can our audience connect with you?
It's simple. We have a clinic in Shawnee, Kansas, Sweet Sleep Studio. They can Google it, and they can call us. My passion is to help people get better sleep, and I'm there always for that.
Dr. Bhat, thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.